Hang on, you're seriously the Imperial Princess? The Crown Prince? And the heir to the Alliance?
Yes, and as the three of us are now in your debt, I think formal introductions are in order. My name is Edelgard von Hresvelg, Princess of the Adrestian Empire.
I am Dimitri Alexandra Blathid, Crown Prince of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus.
And I'm Claude von Regan, grandson of the leader of the Leicester Alliance.
Things looked grim there for a moment. Thanks to you, we put those bandits to flight.
Bit of a miracle we ran into you out there, but hey, I'll take it.
I'm gonna play it cool.
Well, I'm sure the three of you could have handled the situation just fine without me.
No need for false humility. We'd likely have perished if not for your help.
Well, aren't they an unlikely trio? I wonder why those bandits were after them. Still, it's no concern of ours. We have our own plans to attend to. Now, collect your pay and be off before they get a wild idea and ask you to join them.
Say, while I have you here, do you know where I can find Remire Village? I took a wrong turn somewhere along the way. I'm looking for a band of hardened mercenaries who follow a man named Gerald. I hear rumors that's where they're camped.
Actually, Remire might just be the village we've been looking for, too. That ring a bell, Edelgard? I don't remember hearing anything about mercs, but...
The name sounds correct, at least.
Gerald's too smart to get smoked out by a bunch of rumors, but they're all I've got at the moment.
In any case, we won't find our own 2 feet in all this dark. We should return to camp and get our bearings before...
Hello there, house leaders. Hello, brave mercenary. We've mopped up what's left of those rascals. So what say we return to camp?
Is it just me, or did Alois not exist for like 1 frame when it changed camera shots there?
Who, me?
You heard the man. We'll wait out the night together and make for the village in the morning. It's a great plan, especially if you want to get paid, as we're a tiny bit short on pocket change at the moment.
Yes, and those mercenaries you're looking for? Gerald's band, was it? They may be in Remire Village tonight, but there's no telling when they'll move on. If you come back to our camp, we have maps that may help you get 1 step ahead of them.
This is clearly the wisest course of action. Not to mention that I would enjoy conversing with you further. But of course, the choice is yours.
Yeah, I'll go with them in a hot second. I just wanted to address some thingamabobs here real quick. Yeah, there was a little bit of a change in performance between, like, the original actors, you know, games and the original Fire Emblem Warriors. But I feel like that was largely because the original games, for every single one of them except for, you know, Celica's game with Echoes, was either not voice acted, in the case of, you know, some of the older titles there, or partially voice acted, like Awakening and Fates was, where they only did, like, some lines here and there rather than, like, full voice acting. So the original Fire Emblem Warriors was, like, their first opportunity to, like, fully voice the character and, like, really fit into the role and whatnot. So there probably won't be as much, like, changes here, I would imagine. Most likely not. And yeah, I would say the models look better as well. Like, it seems like they are using the exact same models as in Three Houses, but the, like, textures on their clothing and whatnot isn't as blurred. Like, there's a lot more detail to that. I think, unless I'm losing my mind, I think that there were, you know, in Three Houses, there were bits where it's like you'd look on characters' clothing and it's like, my goodness, there was a massive blur there. I know that that was the case in Legends Arceus. I hope I'm not just getting confused with Legends Arceus here. I know that that was a problem in that game as well. But I'm fairly certain to at least some extent there was a issue in Three Houses where you look at the textures on their clothes and it's just like a blur and you don't really see the details. Looking at this, you can see a lot more of the details, and I really like, you know, what it's going for here so far. I am also looking forward to seeing, like, the whole new outfits that they gave all the characters for, like, the whole time skip thingamabob that are unique to this game. I am looking forward to that. Also, one more thing, can we just talk about how for these cutscenes, the environment actually exists and isn't... Yeah, okay, Streak of Sprites is mentioning it right now. They're not saying in front of panoramas for backgrounds. Yeah, can we just mention how in these cutscenes, the world actually exists instead of just being like a really crappy low-res image that oftentimes, like, you know, because it's a panorama thing and it just, like, goes on and on. There are bits where it's like one needs to end and another begins and they need to match up. And if you look closely, you can see, like, the lines in Three Houses where, you know, they don't quite match up quite right. Like, if you're in the cutscene in the dining hall, for example, in Fire Emblem Three Houses, and you look at one of the tables, you'll be able to see this straight vertical line that cuts where, like, the table and bench bend in a weird way that it shouldn't because it just doesn't match up properly. So that was something really weird about Three Houses that I didn't like there. So, the cutscenes of this, just generally, across, like, the character models, the backgrounds and whatnot, is looking a lot better than Three Houses. The animations in these kinds of cutscenes seem like they use the same animation presets as Three Houses. I mean, you know, it looks like the same models as Three Houses, but better detail on, like, the finer details and whatnot. But yeah. Wait, are the... Oh my goodness, you're right! The shadows on the trees, they are moving. Man, this is such a breath of fresh air after Three Houses was just like, oh, here's a really, really low-quality, awful-looking panorama. You can see the leaves that are moving with a little bit of a breeze. The shadow on the ground is moving with it. The stars in the background are twinkling. My goodness, this is really beautiful. Fun fact, I got a comment on on that one recent video discussing the recent Scarlet and Violet trailers, with the comment saying that essentially the reason that Scarlet and Violet look the way they do on the trailers, and evidently like Legends Arceus looks the way it does, basically the explanation for Pokemon looking the way that it does is because the Switch is really old hardware. Like, the Switch has absolutely reached its limit for graphics, and it's really old hardware. That's a comment I got earlier today that was used as, like, the explanation for Pokemon looking the way that it does. But then, like, look at this. That's cool. That's a cool attention to detail that adds a lot of charm there. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, well, I'll go with it. It's probably gonna force me to go with him if I decline anyway, right?
Can things ever be simple?
All right, but just for the night.
Perfect. Then might I borrow you for a moment after we reach camp? There's a matter we must speak about. Nothing alarming, I promise you.
You can try to recruit me into your house.
So off we go? But, if I may, did I hear you mention a Gerald earlier?
Yes, do you know him? He heads up a pretty elite band of mercenaries, so I imagine his name has spread all over Fodlan by now.
Mercenaries, is it? No. No, it can't be him. Can it? Well, I'll just have to meet this Gerald myself. After I've seen my duties through, of course. After all, if I don't finish my assigned tasks, I'm mission the point. Get it? Missing? Mission? Come now, this is good stuff!
That's our Aloise. Come on, let's get moving before he really gets going.
All right, well, yeah, the trees are looking really, really nice. All right, let's see here. Western Barnabas territory, Adrestian camp. Oh. Huh, I really like the stars. After a battle, you'll be able to interact with your allies back at camp. Press A1 near a unit to talk to them. Oh, interesting. Look at the stars and stuff, though. That's nice. Like, it's not quite a level as, like, Xenoblade Aerith Sea or anything like that. But it's nice. Wait, hold for first person? Can I move around like this? Nah, it's only like 3 houses. I guess if you want to take like screenshots, which, you know, it's nice that it's a thing, but can I zoom in or out with the camera? Because this seems like a pretty close camera shot here. I wouldn't mind it being zoomed out a bit more. That's my opinion. But yeah, it's one of the best looking Switch games you've seen. Holy crap. It is nice looking. I will give it that. I wasn't expecting it to be looking like this for a Warriors title that is all about, you know, good performance while rendering a bazillion enemies at once. But it does look pretty nice. Hello, Epic Joker. How are you doing today? Hi.
Hey!
Okay, so this isn't voice, though. Can't believe how quickly those thugs set upon us. Class heads ran off. People were shouting orders. Oh, but it was a right mess. I wish that it was fully voice acted like 3 houses, but well. Let's say, who are you anyway? I don't remember. Hey, you're one of the surviving brigands, aren't you? Anyone help? Why does it auto-advance the non-voice acted lines? That's a bit silly how it... Maybe I should just turn auto-advance off since we're not even using auto-advance for the bigger cutscenes anymore. Welcome to our humble base camp. Yeah, it would have been nice if this was voice acted there. That's one perk that 3 houses had, was it was fully voice acted, so even when you're exploring the monastery, like the amount of voice lines in 3 houses was certainly something. So I guess there isn't as much in this game, so that's a little bit disappointing, but well. It was pretty insane, the amount of voice acting that there was in Three Houses. I assume you are familiar with the Officers Academy on the grounds of Garrick Monastery, yes?
If I'm honest.
If I'm honest. Okay, so these scenes are kind of like freaking Fire Emblem Awakening / Fates, where it's this partial voice acting thing. The 3 young people you assisted earlier are the heads of the Academy's 3 houses. I've heard the term 3 houses, I've said the term 3 houses so many times. You know how when we were doing that 24-hour charity stream, where people could donate to help support the charity there, to ban words, and then whenever I said a banned word, I would have to eat one of those super gross mystery jelly beans? Imagine if I was doing like the 24-hour charity stream with this game, or, you know, the original 3 houses, and somebody just banned the term 3 houses. Like, not even a single word, just the term 3 houses. The amount of times I would have said it. You'll find other students, teachers, and even members of the Knights of Saros here at this camp. I fear you caught us in the middle of an annual outdoor activity carried out at the beginning of the Academy school year. Well, that was weird how his portrait flashed, but the situation became quite the mess when that band of brigands attacked us. Wish we could chat at length, but it seems the 3 class heads wish to speak with you. Alas, I cannot keep you all to myself. This is a great opportunity for you to bond with your rescuees. Interesting. So it seems like they are using the same portraits and models as in 3 houses. A bit better detail behind them, it seems like. I guess this game is able to handle the performance maybe a bit better than 3 houses did. I mean, 3 houses had a bit of trouble development, what with them like not quite being able to figure out how to get it working on the Switch, to the point that they wound up using the Fire Emblem Warriors engine for Fire Emblem 3 houses, which is so weird. So, knowing that 3 houses operates on the Warriors engine, that tells you that they had a bit of trouble during development if they wound up, you know, resorting to an engine that should not at all have been used for 3 houses. So, you know, since this is a game that, you know, is very much made for the engine that it uses, I guess we're able to see these models in a bit better detail than we did in 3 houses. Maybe that's the reason, maybe it's not the reason, I don't know. But the models do seem like they are the same ones from 3 houses, but they're just rendered better now, is a thing. And I'm sure once the time skip happens, then we'll be able to see like the new looks for each of the characters, and I look forward to seeing those. I do like what I've seen from the trailers thus far of Adaman! I do like what I've seen from the trailers thus far of the new designs. Like, they could have easily just taken the 3 houses time skip designs, just like copy pasted them and being like, oh, let's call it a day. I'm really glad they didn't do that and decided to make like new unique designs for the time skip. But yeah, remember you, Hagny, surprised I didn't vomit actually with those mystery beans? I'm surprised I didn't as well. But yeah, main character looks nice. I agree. I very much like the look of the main character of Shez. And I like the freaking Waluigi representing here.
It's you!
We've held these kinds of outdoor activities countless times, but I've never seen anything like this happen. Plus, we've got 3 high-ranking noble children here, so the guard was more than double that of a usual year. To think they were nearly killed by some pack of base brigands. It's a real mess, make no mistake. And now I have to find a way to explain it all to Lady Rhea. Yeah, Lady Rhea can get real mean, considering considering the things that she does to dissenters. I mean, she probably won't be all that brutal to you, but I've seen in 3 houses how brutal she can be. Felix! My main man edgelord who doesn't like his family. You're that new merc, right, Harmonia? The boar says you had some skill. You'll have to give me a demonstration before we head out. I know who the boar is, alright, but I'll agree. Deal. I can make some time before sunrise. Looking forward to it. Heck yeah, I'm making Felix happy. Oh, is there actually gonna be support points in this? It's probably a good thing I did that then, right? Support points signify the strength of a bond between 2 units. Units gain support points by giving appropriate answers in conversation, performing actions to make the other happy, or heading into battle together. Interesting. I wonder if you can do like tea parties like 3 houses to gain support points. I think from the trailer that dropped earlier today, like along with this demo, it did show like a brief thing of tea. So I think tea makes a return in this game, I think. Yeah, I like the portrait as well. I mean, 3 houses in general with his portraits definitely did a really good job, I feel like. But yeah, Rhea starts a cult, forcefully puts the heart of God in an infant, manipulates thousands, maybe millions. Yeah, that's a plot of 3 houses right there. That's the plot of 3 houses. So I wonder how 3 Hopes here is going to deal with that. I hope that I really, really hope that this winds up being a story that isn't akin to the kinds of things that we've seen before already in Three Houses, you know? Like, after I got, like, through 1 or 2 routes in Three Houses, it was like, okay, I basically get now how the story of this game goes, you know? Like, I've seen all the tropes, all the, you know, main kind of plot points and whatnot. I hope that this takes it in, like, a direction that we haven't really seen yet, you know?
Hey,
Better. Oh, you're that mercenary. It's great to meet you. I'm Annette, and this is my best friend Mercedes.
hello there.
It's nice to make your acquaintance. Have you already spoken with others? No, I'm working on it. I haven't.
Let's see.
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I suppose that means none of us know all that much about the others.
Thing is,
We only just started the Officers Academy, so my grasp on the other blue lines is tenuous at best. Okay, so yeah, this is like the very beginning then. The very beginning. To do or not to do?
My thanks.
You assisted His Highness and have my gratitude. I will see this debt repaid. Crack a joke.
Right on.
In that case, you can pay me back with a round of sparring. Let's see what you're made of. As you wish.
I see.
To be honest, I'd like to treat you to a meal, but we lack the time. And we might lack the facility in this game to share a meal. From the most recent trailer, I think T makes a return. I don't know if there's gonna be sharing a meal. Guess we'll find out if there's a sharing a meal in this
You have
game.
My thanks.
Let me begin by first conveying my gratitude to you, Harmonia. We are in your debt.
Speaking of which,
Also, I examined a map earlier, and the village where you are headed seems to be a little more to the east. Thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. I checked the map earlier, but couldn't tell where in the woods I actually was. Well, I'm glad I could be of service. I hope you are able to reach your destination in time.
by the way,
You'll be staying until sunrise, yes? I hope you'll take the opportunity to converse with others here. Of course, now that I've sprung the idea on you so suddenly, you'll likely find yourself at a loss as to whom you ought to speak to. Everyone.
how about this?
On that note, why did their portraits like flash sometimes? Like when their expression changes, sometimes there's like the brief span where it doesn't quite load the next one instantaneously. You would think that it would have like the next one already loaded and like prepared before it happens. Like if, for example, his expression changes on the next frame, you'd think that it would be loading while we're looking at this instead of only loading like after clicking A there. Like it's not like it takes long to load, it's just a brief flash, but it is a little bit irksome there, so I am definitely gonna point that out. On that note, I'll be more than happy to give you an introduction to any Blue Lion House students. Is this gonna be like the beginning of Three Houses where we... Oh my goodness, it is! It's literally the beginning of Three Houses here. We're literally just playing Three Houses again. I can't believe I'm back to the world of these games after I thought I was finally done with it after several years. Yeah, want Dimitri to go serial killer mode? In all the trailers, he doesn't have the eye patch, and the only route that he didn't have the eye patch in Three Houses was the one where you side with Edelgard, and she's like not as violent in that case. So it makes me wonder if like Dimitri is gonna be like a lot more chill in this story, and he's not gonna go like super psycho killer in this one, maybe. Which again might be a nice breath of fresh air, just to like, you know, I kind of like seeing this other dark side of Dimitri. But because we've seen it before, it might actually be kind of cool to see something different rather than more of the same. Maybe. But yeah. Yeah, loading the portrait as it happens. Were there flashes like that in Three Houses? I don't remember that happening. Like, it would be nice if they had, like, the next one prepared, like, in advance. When you already, you know the dialogue that's gonna happen. Oh, this is an interesting screen.
I'm afraid I find myself unsure of where to begin.
It's basically Three Houses again.
Perhaps I'll have thought of a topic when next we speak. But you're leaving for that village soon, aren't you?
I'm also now noticing one of the stats is movement, which I assume, like Three Houses, is tied to the class. But rather than your movement, like how many tiles you can move in a turn, I assume that just affects like your move speed is what that probably means for a game like this. Right? Interesting. Ask again.
Your interest flatters me.
Okay, so that's just a replay of the dialogue. Imagine if it was like a Stanley Parable kind of situation where the narrator's like, why are you asking again? Why is that going? Hello, DR Vigga. I have no idea how this is pronounced. Maybe drag, and then something that Twitch might... Twitch would probably be fine with me saying. It might be YouTube that might have more issue with it. But hello, welcome to the shenanigans. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it too. I'm actually having a decent bit of fun with the demo here so far. I have a preferred class. Yeah, that would make sense there. Like,
You've heard of it.
it makes sense for the starting classes so far, so I assume I'll promote them in a similar way to Three Houses.
To keep to himself, but he possesses one of the kindest hearts of anyone I know. I'm proud to call him my vassal. Speak to him.
Kind of hesitated there, Dimitri. And he was freaking confident enough to take on Edelgard's army, like all on his own whatever route we were doing there. I think, was it the Golden Deer route? Or just the Black Eagles route where we don't side with Edelgard, I think. Wait. Oh, I see what you mean now by preferred class. I didn't see that for a hot second. So maybe that's going to be like the one that they're going to want to promote into from there. I see it now. I was so confused. I thought you were referring to like the class that they were already in at first, but I see what you mean now. Okay. Yeah, there's his lone wolf thing, Bob.
And even sharper tongue. But he's a good person at his core. I can attest to that. He has always admired strength above all else in a fighter. I imagine the two of you will make fast friends.
Heck yeah. What is the Ferdinand von Aegir? Probably when we go and talk with the Edelgard, she'll probably tell us all about Ferdinand von Aegir. After playing Three Houses, we wound up playing a triangle strategy where Ferdinand's voice actor makes another appearance. In fact, even Bernadetta's voice actor was also in that game. There might be some other Three Houses voice actors in that game as well that I just didn't recognize, but he was, what was his name? Jerome or whatever the heck in Triangle Strategy of the Rosellen Village, so we called him Ferdinand von Roselle. What's the thing? Hover over their unique abilities? That's a good question. I'll try it.
She seems a gentle soul with great inner strength. From what I understand, she has traveled far and wide throughout both the Empire and the Kingdom. Perhaps that explains her demeanor.
Details. Oh! Okay, I'm gonna go back up then, in that case.
Your interest, perhaps.
So let's see here. Imbue attacks with lightning. Slightly increases damage to enemy HP and sun gauges when setting them flying. And when ordered to attack, increases damage dealt to enemies by 30%. Oh, I'll turn off my camera here, because that's blocking that. Hold on. Let's see here. So hold the button when performing strong attacks to trigger blasts on impact that deal minor damage to enemies. Taking hits while guarding slightly restores the warrior gauge. Perfect guards restore the gauge even more. When ordered to guard, reduces damage received from enemies by 30%. Okay. So I assume how this game is going to work with movesets is that the moveset will be tied to the class, as, like, it seems like the game has already kind of mentioned that that's probably going to be what's going on here. Your moveset is tied to the class, so there are going to be clones if you're in the same class, but your specials are unique, and you have a bunch of unique abilities that makes the units, like, stand out there. So, in something like Three Houses, characters would operate basically the same if they were in the same class, but they were set apart from, like, their one unique skill and their crests, I guess. Those would be, like, the things that would make them unique. And I guess their growth rates. But in this game, I guess it would be growth rates, which is be, like, whatever their preset level ups are. Their, potential, I don't know if there'd be budding talents. I don't know if the stars thingamabob are going to be budding talents, or there will be unique things from that. And, like, several unique abilities. A unique action, a unique support, and a unique tactical. Interesting. I think that's how it was in the first FU Warriors game. In the first Fire Emblem Warriors game, each character had one unique skill, but you could teach it to other units by getting them up to, like, A support with each other was the thing. So, if you got everyone up to, everyone having A supports with each other, which I did by letting the game play itself over an absolutely ludicrous amount of hours. When was the last time I put it in? But if you make all the characters max out support with each other by just letting the game play itself on the same chapter over and over and over again for literally hundreds of hours like I did before I was a content creator. Not long before I was a content creator, just like a handful of months before I was a content creator. Then you can teach, like, any skill to anybody there. So, the only things that really set them apart in that, I guess, was, like, dialogue and stats, I guess, in the first Fire Emblem Warriors. So it seems like there's a lot more individuality in this game than the first Fire Emblem Warriors. I like that. So let's see here. Dodge in the middle of an attack to increase speed by 1 tier for a period of time. Will reach maximum speed after 7 dodges. And speed in this game is all about, like, the awakening meter, like the super OP mode. So that leads me to believe that Felix should be one that has an awakening build, is what I'm already gleaning from this. Is that my most hours on a game? On the Switch, maybe? No, not on the Switch, because I have more in Smash Ultimate. I have almost 1,000 in Smash Ultimate. My most, for sure, recorded hours in, like, any game, like, at all, is probably having about 1,500 in Dead by Daylight on Steam. When you combine my current Steam account and my old Steam account hours, it makes over 1,500 all in all. But I don't even play Dead by Daylight anymore. If I had to guess the game that I have the most hours in, like, of all time, it would probably either be Roller Coaster Tycoon or Minecraft. I have no way to know how many hours I would have in those games in the past over a great many years. but I have a lot of hours in those games over the years. When no battalion is deployed or battalion endurance is deployed, slightly increases damage dealt to enemies. Okay. When order to seize, increases damage dealt to enemies by 30%. Interesting. So everyone has like a different boon that they gain from being ordered to do a specific thing. That's interesting, and that makes you want to order specific units to do specific things there, the things that they're really good at. That's interesting. But yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised it's called Awakening, as you thought it was a reference to Fire Emblem Awakening. It was in the original Fire Emblem Warriors. Like, in Hyrule Warriors, it was just called Magic, I'm fairly certain, because, you know, you have, like, the Magic stat in Legend of Zelda games, or at least things like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, so they use that in Hyrule Warriors as the Magic gauge. And then in Fire Emblem Warriors, it was the Awakening gauge, which made sense for, like, Fire Emblem Awakening, like, oh, you're doing an Awakening. And I guess maybe they're just, like, following up after the initial Fire Emblem Warriors by just calling it, like, Awakening again. Like, I don't know if there was a more Three Houses specific term they could have used, but, like, after playing the original Fire Emblem Warriors, it makes enough sense to just use the word Awakening again, I feel like. But yeah, remember you put, like, almost 2,000 hours into Monster Hunter World. I've heard about, like, Monster Hunter titles being, like, an insane grind. You being able to put a lot of hours into them. Radiant Love. Attacking very slightly fills the unique ability gauge and gradually restores HP. When the gauge is full, press ZR to damage enemies and heal allies. Ooh. Live to Serve. When magic is used to restore an ally's HP, allows the caster to also recover half the amount of restored HP. So it seems like support is basically just all of their unique skills that they had during Three Houses, essentially. Like, some might have to be tweaked in some way for this kind of style of game, but otherwise it seems like everyone just has, like, their unique skill that they had in that game. When ordered to defend, reduces damage received from enemies by 30%. Okay, yeah, Mercedes seems like the kind of one that would be on the defensive rather than offensive there. Hold down the fort as a healer and whatnot. Ash!
In the far south of Fargus lies a manor by the name
Didn't
of
we
Castle
kill you in the last playthrough?
Ash is the
I think we
adopted
did,
son
didn't
of
we?
that castle's lord, Lonato. He's an honest
This is the power of the Lonato.
of our trust. I'd
How have
like
I
to
never
get
made
together
that joke
with them
before?
Someday, should the opportunity arise.
It was only when Dimitri said that, like, Lonato, that I thought of, like, the Monado, and this is the power of the Lonato. I never thought about that during the Three Houses playthrough. I'm honestly surprised that I didn't. But yeah, check your Steam account. You have over 700 hours of Destiny 2, when in reality it's probably over 1,000 as your account, or as the count originated on Xbox. Makes sense there. Yeah, I have a decent bit more hours on Dead by Daylight for a similar reason there. Super grindy game, but so fun that you want to do the grind. I believe it. I played one Monster Hunter game on the Switch as like my only Monster Hunter game I played. It was either like Generations Ultimate or Double Cross or whatever the heck it was called, but it wasn't quite my cup of tea. I understand why people like it, but it wasn't quite for me. Holding ZR, use L to create and place a zone of wind. That's a long cooldown time. So are like actions just like the ZR button in general? The unique thing about, so everyone has like a unique move like that, essentially. Lockpick allows the unit to open chests without a key and unlock special gates. Also grants a very low chance of increasing items dropped by following enemy commanders. Ah, so it helps with grinding there a little bit as well. Handy. Yeah, I remember Ash had lock touch in Three Houses there. Or to seize, reduces damage received from enemies by 30%. Okay. Annette.
Annette is the hardest worker in the entirety of the Blue Lion House. She is truly brilliant. I could stand to learn from her single-minded devotion, if only a little.
Let's see here. Attacking very slightly fills the unique ability gauge. When it is full, press CR to temporarily strengthen yourself and surrounding allies. Okay, so a buff there. Overachiever, defeating 30 or more enemies with a single warrior special grants a small increase in damage dealt to enemies for a period of time. Interesting. And Ray of Sunshine. When ordered to defend, increases damage dealt to enemies by 30%. Oh, and I can also check the crest. 10% chance that weapon durability will not decrease when using offensive magic. Huh. So those are the only things that I can check there. Maybe I should have checked crests while I was here. Ash doesn't have a crest. Mercedes has a crest. Let's see here. 10% chance that weapon durability will not decrease when using recovery magic. Okay. Yeah, there's the crest of Faraldarius, and it looks like level 1, so you can level up the crests. Interesting. 20% chance to slightly increase the damage dealt by strong attacks. Dedu doesn't have a crest there. So I guess everyone just carries over their crest from Three Houses, but, you know, in different ways to be, like, more in this gameplay style. But yeah, 10% chance to not use mana as a godsend. It could well be. We've yet to see properly how magic works in this, but we shall see. Because it might just be the stronger attacks that are like the, you know, like the combat art kind of thing, bobs. I don't know. We'll see how it works. 20% chance to increase the damage dealt by combat arts in exchange for greatly increasing the weapon durability cost. Interesting. Sylvain.
Sylvain is the son of Margrave Gautier. You may have already noticed, but
That's a
he's
good question
something of
there.
a womanizer. That may be putting it lightly, in fact.
And I believe if I recall the spelling of, I think it's a Shez with an S.
But despite his apparent
If I recall.
indifference,
I don't know
he
for sure,
possesses
but
great cunning and is quicker on his feet than anyone else here. I've known him long, so I'm well aware.
yeah, so I guess you like will upgrade them and make them better and whatnot. Yeah, Shez like that. Minor Crest of Gautier, 25% chance to slightly increase the damage dealt by combat arts. Interesting. Gordian Stroke, at 300 hits and above, increase attack range and damage dealt proportional to the hit count. When an ally of the opposite sex is nearby or is the unit's adjutant, slightly increase the awakening gauge fill rate. Adept Flirt. Okay, that wasn't the name of his skill in Three Houses, I'm fairly certain. So, I guess not everyone gets like their exact unique skill they had in Three Houses, or even like the logo of it, if maybe it wasn't fitting. What was Sylvain's unique skill in Three Houses? I don't remember. I don't remember there. When ordered to attack, reduces damage received from enemies by 30%. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up really quickly now is what I'm gonna do. Fire Emblem Three Houses unique skills. Let's see if I can find the Serenus Forest page there. Let's see here. Abilities, Serenus Forest. So let's see here. So if I control F for Sylvain, his unique one was called Ladies Man. When adjacent to a female ally, damage dealt to foe +2, damage received from foe -2. But they've changed the name of it and the icon to Adept Flirt. And being it, when an ally of the opposite sex is nearby or is the adjutant, then it'll increase the awakening gauge fill rate. Interesting. Interesting, huh? Alright, let's see here, and then finally Ingrid.
Ingrid is the daughter of Count Galatea, and she is far more gallant than your run-of-the-mill knight.
And she really likes battling people we've never
She
met in
has always been
volcanoes.
Straight-laced and diligent, even when we were but children. It is not an uncommon sight to find her scolding Sylvain for his indiscretions.
I mean, it kind of fits with Sylvain's whole thingamabob, to be fair. 25% chance to slightly increase the damage dealt by combat arts. Okay, Icy Plunge. I mean, sent flying explode and deal ice damage to a narrow area. Oh! Oh, okay! Heaven Sent slightly increases the warrior gauge fill rate when attacking enemies launched into the air. Okay. And Sworn Launch. So in order to guard, increases damage dealt to enemies by 30%. Okay. Interesting. So I just gotta speak to the three house leaders in general is what I gotta do.
Huh?
I've gotta say, I never thought the person who helped Dimitri would be so stunning. So I imagine Sylvain's dialogue here is different depending on which protagonist you choose. Ingrid's gonna make you explode with a shower of ice that's terrifying. She's gonna hit every enemy with the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I'd love to invite you out for a meal sometime. Just as thanks for all you've done, of course.
Don't be ridiculous.
Sylvain, you're speaking to His Highness's benefactor. So I'm trying to pick her up like a common floozy.
Can we speak a moment?
Oh, and I don't believe I got your name. I'll give my name. I'm Harmonia. Keep it in mind in case you ever need a heavy hitter. I'll do just that. And while it's unfortunate we're parting ways here, I suspect we may have a chance to meet again in the future.
Not good.
A shame we don't have the time to get to know each other a little better, though.
Uh-uh.
And spare me the side eye, Ingrid. I'm just letting my heart speak for me here. Well then. So it looks like it shows the blue ones on the map as the ones I haven't talked to yet.
Hey there.
Oh, you must be that mercenary I've been hearing about. I'm Ash, and I'm a student at Garrick Mox Officers Academy. Do you know about the academy? See, there are 3 houses. Yeah, I've heard that word so much, or that term, that title so much by now. Each based on where a person is from. I've heard of it. I've more than heard of it at this point. No, I've heard of it, all right. One of my employers a little ways back couldn't shut up about how he'd gone to the place, and how he'd supposedly done like one of the longest, if not the longest, YouTube series on the thing. Like, and he just wouldn't stop rambling about it. It was so annoying. I can see that. Lots of influential nobles and royals from all over study at the academy. I actually find it pretty daunting to always be surrounded by the rich and powerful. It's a lot easier to talk to someone like you.